Konnichiwa. Hi. So as far as I remember, there were still 2 quests to do. そうだわ、天候ちゃん。ダハルネマレはかなり決まり。これあげるから使ってみて。馬呼びのベル。Alright. That's gonna be handy. I don't need this spell anymore. I can just call my horse with this. Let me check what I'm skilled until. So I'm still skilled for this, which I might just keep. I'm not sure. I'll test it. I'll test the damage. Camu needs to be reskilled. Seiya is fine. I need to have more skill points for him to do better. The better route. Let's first go get the skills reset. So I do remember that I got a password, but I'll collect 2 or 3 to make it worth a whole recording on its own. Because I need to remove the mod. Okay. So we're resetting. Now here's the thing. I could either keep it the way it is, get a level, Henko, and then get the AoE. But I think I need an AoE now, so I'm just going to reset this. Cost a little bit of... How much does it cost? 540? So expensive. That's one of the upsides of when you're doing no shopping. You have plenty of gold. Plenty. But you know, this is part of it. This is part of making sure that you are set up right for bosses. And I think that's a good thing. Gives the game a little bit more depth that you would otherwise probably miss out on. Biggest issue is that when you get crit here, you actually... I don't know if this thing can crit. I just know that for some reason it's... I don't think it's mentioned in here either. No, it's not. Wait, maybe I could pick this up instead. Let's see what it is. This costs 4 and gives you 5. This costs 10 and gives you 10. So technically speaking, this is worth more because if you math it higher, you would pay 8 for 10. And then you have this one as well, which gives you 15 for 12, which makes sense again. Like these two make a lot of sense. This one is less value, so I guess I should save up for this if I want it. But then there's also this with this 3% crit. Again, actually not that great for this weapon type, because if you always use these things for single target, you don't crit. Counter's pretty nice. And this is 25 for 16, which is even more value. Because you would get 20 or 16 here. This is 20, and this is strength. There's a difference as well. So some skills, they scale with strength specifically. Not with your attack power, but with your strength. I think there's a special skill. I'm not sure if this ice skill scales with strength, but I remember there was something later on that does specifically scale with it. And then you also have obviously the Giga Blade. Giga Blade is pretty okay. It's kind of... No, it's very costly. Yeah, I just wanted to have the AoE here. And now the question is... Getting this. And... Wait, I can have both at the same time. That's pretty good. And there is this. This is kind of worth considering, to be honest. I can't skip this one. This is an additional AoE. It's additional tour. It's nice. Might actually get it. I think it's fun to have. And then Kamyu just boomerang stuff. Still needs 4 of 9. Right. Now I need to get the lucky encounter. That was easy. There it is. Okay, I'm not even healed up fully. So important is for this that this is pretty much a boss encounter. It's not as hard as a real boss, but going with the same strategies here as well. Rukani, and I don't have the AoE here. Oh, God. That's gonna be pretty useful with care player. Blade guard. Just gotta make sure that he is safe. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I'm gonna focus on the other. Good damage. Yeah, I mean, it's not that rough. He is tanky though. What the heck was that? It looked like destined death. Down. Gold ore. See, now you get this nice golden subtender. And that's one quest done. I would need for Kamyu to, I think, be pepped up as well. Let me check. We need wild side. Okay, for which we need Kamyu together with Tenko and Sinya. But they've already been in pepped stage for a while, so I feel like if I go into the next encounter, they will probably just lose their pepped stage before Kamyu gets it, but I guess we can try. I usually do this one a little bit later on. It's not really that important. The reward is whatever. Let's give it a shot. As far as I remember, this thing is pretty much a boss fight. Spitfire. Yeah, she's already going to lose her pep stage. Oh, this really isn't a boss fight. He actually has 2 attacks. But she will lose her pep now after she acts, so that's unlucky. Okay, okay. That's why That is why I don't do this right away. Unless you just go into the fight and have the power up, but even then you might die. Ikikai raseru. I guess what I can do is just get the monster list built before moving on. Restless Armor. Okay, they have so much defense that he doesn't even do anything. Manus. This is a kind of our main damage dealing skill now. Bunmawashi. Gira. It's stronger than his Gira, that's for sure. Yo? That's pretty good. That's so convenient. Get this one here. Here's a snake. Poison snake. So I think for your main character, the way I would probably do it is if you're specifically, maybe if you're specifically out to just grind monsters for experience, you could probably still be skilled into Demon. Because it's such a good, strong AoE, or like a group skill, that it makes it very much worth it. But it's a pretty big investment. It's 16 points and you need to interact this. And the previous skill before Dean is decent. I mean, it's always good to be pepped up, but I don't really put too much value into this myself. So maybe, but I think what you could definitely, or maybe should even do this, if you go with the one-handed swords. Because if you do that, then you're obviously going to lack any AoE. Aside from your innate fire ability, which is decent, like it's not even bad. It's not something that you wouldn't use then. It's a little bit weaker, but it's also a lot less costly. It is nice to have Dean for enemies that are actually weak to it, like all the metal types. And there are a few, there are not that many, but there are a few. And having then a specific answer for that is pretty handy. So if you're using a normal sword, I would say go for it. Get Din and then get the Kayangiri. Because with those two then you have single target and AoE covered, and you are pretty dang defensive too with the shield. And if you go with the 200, I think at this point, when you can get the Konshingiri and Bunmawashi, you're probably fine. Especially because now I can, for 12 points, unlock another AoE that is ice-based, which, no, it's not the best. Ice isn't the strongest element. It's resisted, but when there are enemies that are weak to it, it's pretty dang good. And it does have a crowd control effect, so I think it's useful. I've always liked using it. It deals the damage that you would deal with Veronica. It's just a stronger AoE version of what he has as a spell, and the good thing about his Bumawashi is it's going to scale up higher and higher because he always gets more attack power. Buggy, amazing. Buggy no Juman. This is her one of a few good AoE spells, and we also got a Chop and Churn. How did I get this? Sunday Skyru. Probably because she learned Buggy. I don't think that's enough points to do anything with her. Nope. Definitely not. Let's see how we are on the monster list. Oh god. Missing so many. Okay, what's next? These... I don't think I've even thought the Chimeras. Or these Needlers. Oh, true. Okay. Let's talk about metal slimes. Now, these two will probably flee. These are very, very, very rare enemies that will spawn throughout the game. They have higher versions, and they are completely made of metal and have insanely high defenses. So at best, you will deal 1 damage to them. I think they have about 5 or 6 HP. And there are certain skills in some trees, like the sword tree, the one-handed sword tree, that have this metal slash, metal gili. And this will guarantee that you will at least deal a damage, 1 point of damage. I think there are some other weapons that also... Yeah, the metal boomerang skill is on Camus. And for these... Only for these enemies, you will want to have these metal slash versions. Now, they are, let's say, like, extremely rare, and they are very, very prone to just fleeing. So unless you have a good way of dealing with them, you'll probably not kill them. If you do kill them, they give massive experience. Massive experience. So these are kind of like, if you wanted to kind of cheese level something, this is how you would do it, but it's too rare to really consistently do that. The best way to actually deal with them is with critical hits, because critical hits ignore defense. And there are some characters that have some skills that give you a higher crit chance to do something. So yeah, it's kind of all luck based, so you can't really rely on it. I think in Dragon Quest 8 it was a little bit easier to deal with them. They actually didn't flee first turn, but like there's just no way in heck that I will be able to kill one, because they just always flee very quickly. We hit one. That's nice. Like, you can't even... They are immune to spells, so you have to just try this. And that's actually incredibly lucky, but he still isn't half. So. Wow. I hit 3 times in a row. And also here, I wouldn't use this skill. The Konshingiri. Because this can't crit. So if I want to have at least a chance to crit something, I should use a normal attack. He attacks again. Wow. Okay. 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 Maybe I get this one. Ah, we killed a metal slime. Oh. That's gonna be such a nice boost in experience. Just free experience. I think it might be 1,000 or 1,000. Okay, this place. But hey, I got one. Perfect. Amazing. It's one of those silly things that you lose a turn and then just dancing. That's what I love about this game. It's not taking itself too seriously. It's just doing this kind of weird stuff. Look at how Eric is going. Yeah. Hmm. 2,000 experience from this thing. The 60 is from the other one. 2,000. The boss that I just killed was like 1,300, I think. This is huge. Absolutely huge. どんなもんよ。マッタハル。マッタハルの自慢。Right. What is Mattahar? Isn't this the same one that she has? No. Matasa. Oh, it's this one. Okay, what does it actually say? Now, so it heals something. And I'm not sure what this kanji means. I said I wouldn't look stuff up, and I should have probably done things like these before to get all the status afflictions out of the way. This is, let's just see. This is 1 stroke to 3 strokes for the particle. Let's see if I can find it real quick in my trusty dictionary. Assuming that this is even the radical, sometimes it's not really easy to find out which of the two things is the radical. But let's just assume it's the left side. The left side is 3 strokes. That is in Itogashira, which is then the kanji 52. And it's in 132 on my list. Getting there. And that is called Gen Maboroshi. I know this word. I've just never seen it. So, and then we're looking for the perfect second kanji, which is Gensho. No, it's not Gensho. It is. It's not actually on my list, but I already know what it means, just based on this first one, right? What's Maboroshi? So I'd have to specifically look up the. Unless this is a different way of writing it, unless this is Gensho. Because the other parts of the kanji are kind of... Gensho, Genso. Yeah, I'll have to look up the other one, which is the Kokoro particle. So as I know, this is a 4-stroke one. And it should be a bottom particle, so let's see if I can find it also real quick. Just to make sure that Kokoro is 61. And we're looking at 61. It says a lot of entries. And I think the other one above is part spear particle. At least I can orient myself on this one. There, 1783. They're going with 1783. Waku. So it would be Genwaku, I guess. Which means bewildered. This is kind of one of these words that are made up by the game, right? Where they put these kanji together. So this means Genwaku, as far as I understand. Unless this is specifically has a kunyomi. What I can also do is... There are certain internet sites that I really like to use. And one is called Anoshi Japanese, which lets you just look up, you know, it has a dictionary, and then you can look up words by just typing in the Romanzi. Yeah, Genwaku. Fascination, bewitchment, entrancement, dazzlement. And this is what she basically heals. So it's Genwaku. This is something that goes on the list. It's a specific word that doesn't even appear on my book. Genwaku. Alright, sorry for that I want to look it up. I think usually birds are weak to frost. Or this is my Pokemon knowledge. That birds are weak to ice, but it dealt a lot of good damage, so I think it was true. Now we have Buggy. Senya can actually contribute to damage. We're level 2, nice. How are we with the monster list? I even got the metal slimes on the list. And he drops in, is that Inochi no Kinomi? Which is a life seed. So we're missing 2 enemies. I think one of them could just be... Was there one in the back here? I know there's the snakes. Oh yeah, there's probably the big one. Should be one of them. The Spitfire. And one of them could probably be in the earlier part of the map. Dealt with these, I've killed the snakes. Crabs everywhere. And this also just snakes and crabs. Okay. Then it could probably be one of the hammer guys. Maybe. That's a lot. Okay, that's 4 of them. That's scary. I didn't save, so I could actually lose my progress here. Let's deal with this in the best way possible by not dying. That's good damage. Okay. All those brownies. Cool. The issue with these hammer guys is that they can randomly crit you. I should probably actually... Not that defense does anything, but I should probably try to set up. Because they can kill me as well. Shit. I really want to set up Skara here. Pretty much negates damage. See. So outside of crits, I'm pretty much untouchable for them. Okay, they can power themselves up. War pep. Oh wow, they're all going in. Oh no. Oh wow. Okay, I'm getting destroyed. Come on. Die. That's satisfying. Oh, scary. Yeah, we're missing only one enemy now, so that's gonna be the Spitfire. I need to save too. Oh, yeah. Should return the quest. So for the other quest, I'll just try to monitor when the people that are required are, excuse me, when they are pepped up. That's the only way to do this. And even then, I might just need to get a couple more levels. Okay, no. So this is a Mikawashi no Kado. And these cards are always really good. This is equipment, accessories. So what this does now for now is Shubi Ryoku 2 defense, 2 Mikawashi. Oh, I think Mikawashi means dodge chance. Kawashi, right? Mikawashi. And Miryoku. And you can see this goes up to 4%, which isn't bad. And 10% mediocre. It's probably one of the weakest cards. But overall, it's still pretty useful. And the good thing about these specifically is that they are very easy to refine to +3. Because I think they all have a base cost of 4, I believe. So, where did I put it? Mikawashi, no. Yeah, they have a base cost of 4, which at this point in the game is not something I can guarantee to +3. But we can try. I mean, that could just happen. It's maybe 50-50? Oh, dang it. I guess Kamyu can make good use of this thing. There's one ability that I need to really get more control over enhancements like these. Alright, it's time to move on to the next area. So leaving the desert finally. Not my favorite area to be in, that's for sure. Looks like a quest, huh? Watashi wa Poro. Daharne no. 一つ私の話を聞いてくれ。私はディアナという、娘がいてな。ケーキ屋で ケーキでパティシエとして働いているんだが。Okay, he wants me to deliver a letter to his... I think it's his daughter. Was this Musume? Or was this... No, wasn't this Imoto? I think it was Imoto. Giving her the baker's girl letter from this guy. Which is on our way. Are we actually going to that area anyway? Are we through? Thank you. I got the king's letter, my dude. I'm here on very important business. Okay, looks like we are in... I'm going into a swamp area, it seems. That's fine. Some sands. It's gonna camp here to unlock it for the teleport. Not that I need it. Another pretty convenient thing in the camp, you saw there was also a merchant, so you could also stock up on things. What little swampy area here. Let's see, I haven't fought these guys yet. Okay, that's 4 enemies. Now we're getting to the point where the enemy groups are actually normal. Oh god. This is so silly. See, the damage drop I was really... I think it might just be 20% or so per enemy. It's quite rough. I wish this hit every enemy. Gonna check her. That's one reason I think it's pretty reasonable to give the defensive stuff to Veronica, because you probably always use her. Probably. And having her not die is pretty good. Okay, he needs to heal himself. Win. Oh god, he's calling more hands. Guess it needs more experience, huh? I think in theory... What the heck is that? In theory, this is a decent way to grind some levels. Because I think they can just call new hands indefinitely. Which, you know? Grew up. Yeah, there's more coming. No. Yeah. 30 damage. Serious? There's only one left. And that one kills me. Are you are you serious? Oh man. What a good luck episode. Well, that is exactly the challenge. And I like that. I should have just healed him, just made sure I took the risk there. That's fine, there was an autosave right before I changed the areas. Just need to re-unlock the camp, and that's it. It's just such a shame that all the experience was wasted. And by the way, I'm not saying that Sword and Shield are bad. They're actually good. Like, this could have saved me. And there is actually, so I heard, in very much the end game, like very much later, it might just be the best thing to use. Because it has, you have stronger shields overall, like with more effects on them. And it's the, I think you can already see this. Look at this skill. The Giga Slash. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, this is Teki Zentai. Teki Zentai, and this is Teki Ichi group. Is it Ichi group or Hito group? Hitotsu group? Ichi group. Oh, I would say it's Ichi. So this difference is this hits every enemy. This hits only group. And I think this is kind of how swords try to balance themselves out as not having good AoE. They get the best AoE later on. Whereas the two-handers kind of just get, you know, they get good AoE through all of the game. But not the best. 35 damage. I'm just always surprised how much damage these enemies deal when you go into a new area. Now they can nearly two-shot Veronica. He can heal, he can get a heal slime, huh? And this might be something I should explain, because yeah, this is going to be a longer ramble. Because this explains a few things, I guess. So one could wonder why I am playing the game in a way that makes it like this, punishing and quite hard. Not really like hard, like I don't really need any special skill or anything to play this game, right? It's just, you just have to make sure you're well prepared, you know what your skills do, and you actually make use of what the game gives you in terms of defenses. And that's exactly why I do this. I like it when the game has a specific, or the challenge of a game is that it requires you or strongly incentivizes you to make use of every bit of tool that you have in your toolbox. Like here, be that buffs, debuffs on enemies, status effects on enemies, etc. And I like it that some mistakes, like you're not paying attention or you're taking risks, etc., when they are being punished, or at least can be punished, because there's no risk if there is no punishment, right? You're not taking any risks if it doesn't make any difference. This is a glowing view. Okay. And I like that. And I didn't always used to play games like this. Like, I kind of very much remember when I played Dragon Quest VIII. I was a lot younger, like, that must have been over 10 years ago. Like a long time ago. No. I don't think that I should block their skills. I think I should just go attack. But I need to make sure that she's protected, because I need her to deal the damage, so... And also heal her. So I used to play Dragon Quest VIII in a way where I would try to make sure that I get as strong as I could within reason as early as possible. And this is how I would play all my RPGs. So from the time back when I started to play RPGs, which was pretty early on, like I grew up in the time when the Super Nintendo existed, when the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 were like, you know, I think some people call this like the golden time of RPGs, and I can see that. Looks like they're trying to call some, but they're not coming. And I was playing like all the Breath of Fire games, Star Ocean games, the Tales series, and so many others. Like I've played obviously Chrono Trigger, Terranigma, like all these SNES games, and tons of PlayStation 1 games that were the good stuff. PlayStation 2 then had Dragon Quest 8, and it's kind of one of the best examples of like how this whole system works. And what you would usually do is kind of go for this God mode approach. When you would just try to get really strong, like if there was some kind of strong equipment or something that makes you broken or makes it impossible for you to die, anything that gives you a really strong advantage, even if it's just through just grinding mobs for a long time, just getting levels so you can stomp the next boss. Totally forgot I had Sylvia on my party. But like I said, he isn't that good early on. He doesn't get much. So I'm not using him for now. Can fly with a bee. A bee? So this is basically what I would call the God mode principle. This is how I used to play games. I think this is how a lot of people still play games in like a lot of aspects. Like whatever they play, if it's a Final Fantasy game or an ARPG, you just want to get the strongest, most busted thing that you can and just stomp everything. Like even some people even try to play games like the Souls games like that. Get the strongest magic and just nuke everything. And I can definitely see the appeal and the fun of that. Because it is just nice when you don't need to have challenge, or you kind of found a way to bypass or circumvent the challenges. And as a kid, I played like that. I found it incredibly fun. And it didn't even occur to me to play a game any different. If I, like, when I struggled at a boss, I thought I did something wrong. Pretty much. I thought I didn't prepare enough. I didn't grind enough levels. And then so for Dragon Quest 8, for example, you had these metal slimes that you could... Early on, you could just grind them and get like 4 or 5 levels and be above and just have a pretty easy time with the game. And this is kind of how I would approach it all the time. Here's our second password. The next one I get will then probably go into their town and do the quests there. Yeah, so I would play games like this. And Dragon Quest, you know, you had... Well, you would use the best weapons. Obviously, you always make sure you get the best gear early on. Like, if there was any piece of gear, any upgrade you could get, you would get it and you would get the most. And if I, for example, wanted to play this game like this, I would probably try at least to find some of these metal slimes to grind them and maybe spec so that I could make sure that I actually deal the damage. Even though it's a lot less reliable in this game because they're so rare. Also, these tiger guys, I'm not gonna deal with them. They are really strong. I don't want to die. And then something changed. There was one game I played that kind of gave me the idea, like the first taste of like, hey, you can play games in a different way and still have tons of fun with it. And that first game was actually, was Star Ocean 3. And why Star Ocean 3? I'm not even saying it was skill based. But you know, most of these games that I played before, the RPG, they were turn based. Like it was just, you either have the right enough level or the stats from your gear, or you don't. And it's all that determines whether you win or lose. Whereas in other combat systems, like anything that's action based, anything that is not turn based, it depends more on how you act, what you do, what your skill level is, your reflexes, etc. All these different things that you can add to a combat system. It isn't turn-based anymore. Oh, that's really strong. Probably just gonna heal myself up here. I think. Don't wanna die. I don't have anything to heal. Okay. God, the damage. Oh no, don't you dare call more. No. Okay. This is really bad for me. Actually, one thing I can at least do is Irekairi. Bring these two out. Because Kamyu doesn't do much for me at the moment. And with her, I probably just attack with her because she just did so much damage. If you don't do damage, you can't win. And I want to Skara up. Okay. Oh wait, oh that's actually pretty good damage. Okay. And I think this game, the Ocean would first kind of give me a new idea. Like how I could play a game different. Because there was some ways to just get by without leveling, for example. Because gear could be really strong. There was one way to do it. And just got like a new idea that, hey, games can be challenging. Like actually going for a challenge, because they also had different difficulty settings that I actually would go for and feel like, hey, this is more fun. And then the actual game that changed my approach to gaming was definitely Demon's Souls, that I then got for PlayStation 3. Like, I don't know when that happened. Over 10 years ago, for sure. And Demon's Souls is a game that pretty much can be... You know, it's one of the games you can do this at level 1 with the weakest, lowest weapons you can imagine, and you can purely skill through it. Tap dance could be good. Yeah. Fire. I guess I'd use this one. Or... Actually, I could just buff tempo up. Because that's also one thing, that this skill does scale with buffs. You get buffed up, you deal damage. Battle. Kill slime. So when I then played Demon's Souls, I kind of got the idea, hey, games can be really, really fun and really challenging, and that's actually really good. And from that time on, you know, then I obviously played Dark Souls games, and then started to look for other games that would give you the same thing, where things are based more on your skill, on your engagement with the game, and you want to actually be forced to make use of things more than ever. And that's exactly what I like. That's also something that I remember disliking about the way I used to approach gaming. Okay, we got a recipe here. Tetsukabuto. Tetsu no mune atte. Tetsu no yoroi. Okay. Lots of Tetsu stuff. Okay. I'm missing a Amatsuyo no ito, some kind of yarn. Kemono no hone. It's a good upgrade. It's also a good upgrade, and this is an upgrade for probably. Hopefully, actually, you guys can at least make one each. And what bothered me before was often when you play games on quote-unquote easy mode, like you want to go god mode level and just be the strongest you can be, then the way it... Oh wait. Teikaben... Hanbunu chikara de ichimasu o tataku. Oh, Well, I got this. I kind of missed it. I got this. So this is one that is incredibly useful. This costs double and only does half the progress. But it allows you to be more precise in getting to the sweet spot, getting to the perfect bar. Oh wow. Another one. Like for this I think I want to hit normally. Since I have a good amount left here, I can kind of be a little bit more careful. Like, do I one more? This is probably going to be a +2. Ooh, that's lucky. It's gonna serve me well to not die. Okay, now I am missing Migakisuna. I know where I can farm this though. It's not an issue. This is in Dahar. Wait, Dahar? I can actually buy this one if I want to. And in this God mode gameplay, like when you just stomp everything, you don't need something like poison, or you don't need something like debuffs or anything. Like, it's something that I would really wonder, why do these games have all these useless abilities? Like debuffing enemies or poisoning enemies or status defilements, anything that would not be dealing damage. Because if I can just deal damage and kind of one-shot you, then like what's the point in all these other things? And that's exactly what I would play. I would just be there, I would rank quest 8, just one turn, kill everything, and I would get this satisfaction out of being able to one turn kill everything, or being able to not take any damage. And a lot of games I played, like I remember the Grandia games were kind of similar, where you could just level grind certain, especially in Grandia 1. You could grind stuff up, and it would just make you really powerful early on if you wanted to. And I was always wondering, why is all this other like supportive stuff in this game that you never use? Because you can just, why pick anything but damage, right? And that's a very valid thought. When you play a game on easy mode, then you don't need anything else. But at the same time, you also kind of lose out on so much depth of the game, even on gameplay itself. Because like all these buffs, these debuffs, like what I've been using against bosses, how you prepare a fight, like how you set yourself up so you can deal the damage, all this goes away. You just attack because it doesn't matter. And I think that's the appeal of playing games like this. And I know this is not very hard either. I'm aware of that. That's not a Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Sekiro, where you really need reflexes and gameplay and all that stuff. But you know, it's better than easy mode, that's for sure. So yeah, that's why I like it. Because it incentivizes using everything that is put in the game already. It's not obsolete or redundant to have these things in the game. It's fun. And I have to like being required or incentivized to respec specifically for bosses, making up a strategy, coming up with a way to overcome adversity. That's what's fun with this. That's what gives these games a little bit more depth for me. Yeah, it's a harbor city. Looks a little bit like Venice. The gondolas.
ここが貿易で有名なダーハルーネの町か。たくさんの金持ちや商人が行き交う世界で一番でかい港町らしいぜ。
世界で一番でかい港町。は
ふーん。ってそんな町で自分の船を持ってるシルビアさんってもしかしてすごい人なんじゃ。
ベロニカちゃん、余計な詮索は野暮ってものよ。私の船ちゃんは町の南西にあるドックの中でお休みしているの。さあみんな行きましょう。
Yes, I'm gonna just check out the stores here a little bit, see what we can buy and upgrade. See, we have a rapier, already had this, already had these, already had all of these. I guess that's all old stuff. Then we have this guy here, it's not a real store. Armory, see what we have here. Boruldo gold tray. It's a gold shield that's 4 more. Like these are also interesting. They are basically heavy shields that only he can use, and it's 15 defense more for having a shield. And then also a fire and ice resistance plus 5%. And that's kind of the thing. It has plus 5%. And you can imagine that for shields later, they might go up to like 10, 25% even. Who knows? I don't actually know. But I could imagine that they can also give you a lot of elemental defenses or other things, and that's probably what makes Sword and Shield good later on. Have this. That's a cat hat. Okay. Water, me, and a cat appearance. Nice. So this thing I can make myself. I have this, and I can also make these myself. Already made one. So there's no need to buy these. The only thing that looks like it's worth buying might be the gold tray and the Niko no Kaburimono. Niko no Kaburimono. Okay. So I think you can actually get this as a drop from an enemy. But it's incredibly rare. Okay. And there will also be a lot of looting in this area, that's for sure. So she lost her appearance, but... Little piggy. Look at the increase, 13. 13, that's 20% more defense. So good. So good. Okay, I'm gonna save up here and end this part. But you can't even save here. Bad. It's in here. Recipe. Nice. Oh, nice. Bowl tray. Okay. I don't need to buy it. Kin no necklace and kin no bracelet. Okay. So we get also a necklace and a bracelet to buy, to make. So all gold stuffs, pretty much. Not all, but you know. So this is the one that is pretty dang weak. Let's compare it to this one. So it's 7 defense, 9 charm, 8 charm, 4 defense, but 10 HP. I think the 10 HP is actually pretty good. If you wear 2 of these and get 20 more max HP. 20 more max HP. If you look at the Tsuyosa of, for example, Veronica, who's rocking... what's her max XP? Can the game tell me that? 69. So essentially 70... Nice, by the way. 70 HP, so she would get to 90. Which is over 20% increase on HP. So she goes to like the value that Tango has nearly. I mean, pretty much exactly. That's good. That's good. It's a good increase. That's probably worth your while if you want to make sure that she survives. Obviously, then I'd put away my Mazo no Tebokuro which I don't want to because damage. I'm just saying, like, these things are not even bad. And something like this, I would never consider even getting a defensive tool like this if it wasn't for the fact that the game is challenging, at least early on, that the game can kill you if you don't pay attention or you don't set yourself up well enough. And then a lot of items, a lot of things would just not matter at all to you. So this is not even to say, oh, I'm so good and I'm playing hard games and you're so bad and casual for playing the easy games. That's not what it's about. It's about doing what you find most fun. And I used to find it so much fun to go God mode, and I can totally see the appeal. And in some games I still like it. Like Elden Ring is such a good example of that. Because of how it's set up and how it plays, it doesn't actually feel that good to feel weak in the game, because you get just stumped. In other games like Sekiro or Bloodborne, it feels more rewarding to do this. In Elden Ring, it feels really good to get your intelligence up and to get a good spell to just nuke bosses to oblivion, like just laser millennia in the face. That's fun, because screw millennia. Holy shit. Yeah, sorry for the rant. Screw millennia. Jesus, I don't even remember if I saved. I know, I think I did. Okay, yeah, then that's it for now. There's lots of rambling, but hey, we are on the next port, so the quest is gonna take up, so it's probably gonna be the same thing. Gonna loot, gonna do the quest, and then probably gonna be sent into some dungeon to kill a boss. And hey, that's the fun of it. So yeah, until the next time we do this, bye.